Hey, what's up? It's Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of the creditrepairshop.com. And in today's video, we're going to talk about how to get that perfect credit score. And there's one thing that I see a lot of people missing on, and that's payment history. And how I don't think a lot of people really truly understand how much payment history can affect your overall credit scores and also the risks that the lenders see. But before we get started with that, I want to take the time out to thank everyone who, number one, watches my video, who, number two, subscribes to the channel, asks questions, comment, all of it. I don't do that enough. I don't thank you enough for taking the time to watch the videos. I really, really, really do appreciate it. All right, let's get into it. We're going to talk about the missing with missing payments, and this is the mindset. See, this isn't like, like someone, how could I say it? Like, some people, when they make a video or they talk about missing payments, and you like, that person never missed a payment in their life. They don't understand, the real life situation, what I went through. Let me tell you the mindset of someone that is young that misses payments, because I went through it. I did it. We think about it this way. You missed that payment, but you know you're going to make that payment. You didn't do it on time, but you paid it. What's going through your mind when you do it? You're like, yeah, I didn't pay it on time, but I paid it. And that's the thought process. That's the thought process. But I could tell you from personal experience, I could tell you moving forward. And if you haven't done it, I'm going to tell you don't do it, because that is the wrong thinking. That's the wrong thinking, because there's an algorithm that these credit reporting agencies use. One of the biggest things that counts towards your credit score and counts towards the risk of you getting approved or not approved from a creditor that's looking at your credit reports is that payment history. Now, I'm going to give you a quick example, and this will really kind of blow your mind. And when I saw this, I was like, man, it just missing one payment can screw up you getting approved. It could screw up your interest rate. It could just screw up a lot. And I'm going to put it down on that bottom level so everyone can understand it. Let's just say, for example, you have a credit card. You've been paying on that credit card every month, and you miss one payment. So you got you've had that credit card for 1 full year. You didn't miss any payments. What would your payment history be? What would the percentage be? It would be 100%. Now, did you know if you miss one payment, your payment history will not drop by 1%. Your payment history will actually be 91%. And according to the risk scales that credit card companies use, car companies for financing use, anyone that's looking to give you credit, it could even be for a rental if you're looking to rent an apartment or rent a condo, and a mortgage company. If you with having a 91% payment history, they don't just really look at you missing one payment. These algorithms are done by computers, and they're looking at 91%. In some people's eyes, they could, even though you miss one payment, unless someone looks at that manually, it can really make it look like you missed multiple payments, even though you didn't miss multiple payments. Just think about it. Like, a lot of times this goes over people's head. But if you look at the percentage, you got 1 year's worth of payments. You missed one and then made it up later. It was just a late payment. You went from 100% to 91%. Look at how that's going to go into the mix of everything else that you do. What if your utilization was up? You had your credit cards and maybe one month you didn't pay them off, or you didn't pay them down to 30%. Now you have the overutilization plus the missed payment. So you can see how all of this is going, where all of this is going. Now let's say that you applied for an additional credit card. You had an inquiry go on your report. Now you got the late payment. Now you had your credit card balance was over 30% for that month. Now you have three things working against you. So bottom line, if you care about your credit score, you're gonna have to pay attention to the little things. The little things are the things that end up coming back to hurt you in the end. Yes, you paid them, even though it was late, you paid it. They don't look at it that way. They look at it good that you didn't just forget to pay, that you did pay, but the mark is what matters, the little thing. Yes, the next month you ended up paying your credit cards down to 30% or less, or you paid them off. But that month it was figured with having a higher amount on there than 30%. Yes, you did not do any inquiries 1 month, and then you did some inquiries because you wanted to get something, a car, or maybe even another credit card that you wanted to add. And that ended up figuring in, and it made your scores go down. Now, some of the things that you do, your scores will bounce back up. When you go over on when you utilize your cards more and don't pay them down for 1 month, and then the next month you pay them down, when it's refigured, it's going to go back up. But that hardest one to overcome, is going to be that late payment. So I want you to avoid making late payments. You got to look at when your payments are due. If you can pay it online, whatever you got to do. If you can get it reversed, whatever you got to do. But that's going to hurt you the most, because if you look at it, for you to go down from 91% to even bring that down by half, you're going to have to pay a whole, I think, about 6 months worth of payments to even bring that red zone down to 95% or 96%. You're going to have to go a whole full 2 years to bring that down into the 96%, 97%. And if you look at the scoring models, they still consider a 97% in the red zone for making payments, because what do they want? They want 100% payment history. 100%. Now, I don't know if I mentioned it at the beginning of the video. The reason why I'm making this video is that I'm seeing too many people coming to us. I'm seeing too many people having these late payments on their credit reports when they could have been avoided. This stuff will hurt. And if you have multiple late payments, let's just say you have 2 of them in a year, you're going into the 80s and 70%. You don't want to be doing that, because it's going to be harder for you to recover, because the only way that you're going to be able to recover is over time. You're not going to be able to try to manipulate the system to overcome that, because you're going to be judged with that one account on there. Yeah, there is a scoring model that looks at your overall payment history, but it's to miss 1 payment, to miss 2 payments, to miss 3 payments. You're talking about having to do multiple years over multiple accounts just to be able to overcome missing 1, 2, or 3 of your payments. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Best ways to not do it: budget your money. Put everything on a spreadsheet. That's what I do. I put all of my, and I call them household and lifestyle investments. I don't even call them bills, because everything that you pay on helps make your lifestyle better. So you put your lifestyle, your lifestyle investments on a spreadsheet. You put down when they're due, the amount, and you make sure that you pay them. Some stuff might be towards the end of the month, some stuff in the middle of the month. You just want to make sure that you don't miss those payments, because it makes it so hard for you to overcome. When we're working with clients and we clean their credit, and they have accounts that are still good, open credit card accounts, but they just had those late payments on there, we could get all of the other negative stuff off of there. The collections either resolved, or they were removed, or resolved and removed, and they're sitting there with those open accounts that had late payments. And really the only way to resolve those without potentially having the creditor try to close them is to contact the creditor and try to have them reversed. And some of the times they'll do it, some of the time they won't, but we don't even like touching those, because we've seen in the past where when you dispute an open credit card account, that company can choose to close that account. Maybe they just get tired of having the disputes, and they just say, we're just going to close it. Or they say, well, this person had late payments, they're probably not going to keep paying us all the time, so why don't we just close it and make them pay the balance on that account. Like, they have all these risk factors that are just rolled in if you are missing. And this is another thing with credit card companies. A lot of people don't know this. With credit card companies, they are the only ones that can base keeping an account open for you, or making changes to your interest rate, or calling it due, whatever they want to do, choose to do with it, based on what you're doing with your other credit. Like, your car dealer or your car finance company cannot change your interest rate based on what you're doing with your credit card company. If you're making your automobile payments on time, but you're missing some of your credit card payments, they can't come back to you and say, well, we're going to jump your interest rate. Did you know that the credit card companies can actually change the terms of your credit card based on what you're doing with other accounts that you have, with other credit card accounts, with your automobile, with your mortgage, your student loans, all types of stuff? They can change the terms. It's like a floating change of terms. The reason why they can do it is because that's an open revolving account. They can change the terms on a monthly basis. They can change them at any time. You probably got emails. They say or a letter in the mail saying that we changed the terms. So be very careful with that. Don't do it if possible. Don't miss any of your payments. All right, so I'm going to end the video here. If you need help with your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch the video, What Makes Us Different, so you can see my 8-point validation process, my 2-phase settlement process. If you need your credit reports and scores, because everything starts there, go to the website yourthenumber3scores.com. Links are below this video. If you have debt collectors coming after you, please get my 3-pack of letters: statute of limitations letter, cease and desist collection activities letter, and the debt validation letter. You can use those to stop debt collectors early. All right, thank you for your time. Please subscribe to the channel. Please post your comments and questions. Thank you. This is Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of thecreditrepairshop.com.